Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So let's talk about it. Um, I have been seeing quite a few things that have been relatively interesting through this show, and for some reason, it feels like every time we learn something, or they kind of conclude something, like they jump to a conclusion and they just kind of leave it at that. We always learn that there's so much potential within this universe, right? Like there's so much different stuff that we can take from all this. And you know what else you can take from all this? I am going to die. Um, but yeah, I think this show has been one of those things that have given us pretty concrete evidence that now we should expect the unexpected and that anything's relatively possible because of how things have just been turning out in general. Um, like for instance, we just saw magic being used, so now it's kind of like, oh, you didn't believe in magic? Well, now you can't not believe in it, right? Like it's right here in your face. You have to accept it for what it is. And if you don't, well, then you're stupid because it was right here in your face and you should have just accepted it. So, I don't know. I'm looking for, oh my God, why did I try to heal right there? I would have won. Um, I look forward to seeing what they actually, drop in the case of what humanity and these other, vampires, dwarves, and all that stuff, what really brought them, like, how did this all happen? Like, what made their worlds collide or whatever? Or I guess it's always been there. So if it's always been there, I guess they don't really have to explain anything. Like, it's just how it is and how it is, or how it is and how it should be. But if it's not, and there's some interesting reason as to why they're all kind of within this same, position that they have to withstand, it would make a lot more sense for the show to explain that aspect sooner or later. If that is the case, I mean, it might not even be the case, and this is just how it's always been, and it's not weird that it's happening and stuff like that. So I could see that. I could also see the fact of a lot of these characters being so easily lovable is also kind of a bad thing. If anything happens to them, I am going to be super mad, super mad. Um, I'm definitely one of those types of fans. Like, oh, I started liking this character. Wait, you just killed him? It's not Special 7 anymore, you know? Like, why tell me there's always gonna be 7 if they're gonna just die? Um, but yeah, I definitely want to see more of this show and what they're going to do with it as a whole, because as of right now, I don't know too much of what this magic's going to entail. We don't know how much the dragon, you know, them looking into finding these dragons and really pushing their limits by using their powers or, finding relics and whatnot, kind of gives me the feeling that we should be seeing something relative. Oh my God, she's mad I killed her husband. We should see something relatively new in the case of oh, she's taking 0 damage. What the heck was that? Um, we should, definitely understand more of the abilities of these characters, but to be fair, this was like a ninjas episode and her just saving everybody. How come I can't? That's so dumb. Oh God. So you're somehow supposed to tank all of that, heal, which you can't heal because it's too slow, and then if I rolled past her, she would have just kept doing the same attack over and over and over. So she must die first, period, because the big boy is not that hard to deal with when he's alone, and I just wasted some special. Um, the ninja was the main character this week, just simply off of what she brought to the table when it came down to the diffusing of these bombs and just having a good like guesstimation of what they needed to do and stuff like that. So it's crazy to think that she truly came through in the clutch. And oh my god, this character is so trash. Please, please nerf and get rid of this character because she is so annoying. But overall, I do think that we are getting some of the better storytelling this season. I just feel like a lot of the shows have been much more focused on giving us explanations and expositions and not so much just leaving us in the dark anymore. They're giving us really good intel throughout usually these episodes, so I can appreciate that because there are some shows where you're just kind of left in the dark to guess everything, right? Like, it's nice to be able to guess some things and be able to get it right, but it doesn't feel that good when you have to guess every single inkling of, the show until the very end, and they just kind of they just cheaply give you the answer, like, oh, it was the stars above that was the answer. It's like, wait, what? Just like some random answer towards the end of it all. I just hope we don't get that. I don't think we will with this show. Um, but like I was saying, I would love to know like how all of these races came together, like vampires and all that. Like, why are they existing? And I don't know if that's even gonna happen. The bomb situation where they defuse it, but the guy still activates something to make the bombs pretty much trigger is another thing where you're kind of just like, why not do that when you know all of them are in the same like vicinity of those bombs? Why not just detonate them all? So these are the types of things I kind of call out with the character, like the villain's characters not really being all that impressive to me, right? Like they're never really pushing the envelope that much forward with what they do and what they try to do, and that kind of disappoints me. I mean, it disappoints me to such a degree that they can't just allow the villain to win, right? They can't just be like, and then the villain won because the story is better this way, Like they can't. They have to make it convincing and whatnot. Um, so I do hope that they can, pull that out. But at the same time, if they can't, I'll understand that. They at least, hopefully, they tried. They made it seem convincing. Uh, but other than that, I'm trying to think of what really could happen in this show. Like our rookie just stopped magic with his bare hands, so that was pretty like out there. So oh, we got some noises. I apologize. But yeah, our rookie has stopped something that we probably never would have thought of trying to stop with our own bare hands, like the Special 7. That's just my guess. Like, I don't think any of them would be like, oh, magic, electric magic, and it's coming right at me. Hands, don't fail me now. I don't think any of them would really do that. I mean, maybe they would if they had the same kind of pride and justice as him, which is another thing that's really been pushed to its limits. Oh my god, that was loud. Um, yeah. The justice part has been like very, very heavily talked upon, and the thing that we still have no answers for is what ever happened to the man who saved him in the very beginning. Like, what is that story as well? So there's a couple things they've been banking on and building up that's already kind of in the story that we could draw conclusions for, but there's no need to, seeing how there's only 12 episodes. Hopefully this is just a part one of the first season, or there is another season, something along those lines, because if there's only 12 episodes, like I always say about 12 episode shows and stuff like and whatnot, is there's a chance for it to abruptly come to an end. Just be like, oh, and then we found the dragon, and it's unstoppable, and because they literally said the dragon's magic and the way that they're using it is like unlimited. There's no stop to using it. So how did dragons lose if they have an infinite supply of magic or fire or destructive power? So it's those types of things that they kind of dabble into by telling you about it without really showing you anything. So I look forward to seeing what you guys are thinking about it. Let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. So with all that being said, peace.